Have you ever found yourself at 11 a.m. realizing no one has brushed their teeth, gotten dressed, or remembered where they put their homeschool books? I've been there too. In fact, nearly every morning used to feel like I was herding cats while simultaneously putting out fires. But here's the thing. Mornings really don't have to be this way. At least not most days. Your kids can learn to take more responsibility, giving you room to breathe and helping them build confidence. Today, I'm sharing the 5-step morning routine that made a difference in our family and slowly taught my kids what responsibility actually looks like in practice. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Kim with Not Consumed Ministries. We help families grow in faith so they can live not consumed by life. This is my 22nd year of homeschooling. I've graduated 3 kids and have 1 high schooler left at home. 12 years of my homeschooling journey were spent as a single mom. So I'm passionate about raising independent kids while maintaining sanity in the process. So let's get to the good stuff. Why does a morning routine matter? I'm glad you asked. I used to think that raising independent kids meant just throwing them into the deep end and hoping they'd figure things out. You know, the whole sink or swim approach. But that led to frustration for everyone. Me constantly reminding and nagging, them feeling overwhelmed and incapable. What I discovered is that independence is actually a gradual, intentional process. Our kids need structure and guidance before they can truly operate on their own. They need systems that teach them how to be responsible without us micromanaging every detail of their lives. I've also learned that kids who wake up without a plan or purpose will either veg on the couch or start writing on the walls with Sharpie markers. It doesn't take them long to find some kind of trouble. A morning routine does 3 powerful things. It creates predictable structure so kids know exactly what's expected. It builds confidence as they master skills and complete tasks independently. And it reduces family stress by eliminating the daily battle of wills. That sounds like a win-win, right? I found that if you can get your morning off to a good start, the rest of the day is much more manageable. So I start working on a morning routine with my kids as early as possible, even in pre-K. The easiest way to manage your morning is with a checklist. Checklists are self-motivating. Haven't you written something down that you've already done just to get that feeling of checking it off? Yep, me too. A checklist has superpowers when it comes to motivation, but it also helps organize even the most disorganized students. Sometimes people think a checklist won't work for their child. Don't believe this lie. Checklists work for everyone. In fact, students with special needs find the checklist provides the structure that they're missing in order to thrive. We keep our checklist in our homeschool planners. This one is for pre-K children, but we've got one for every age group. I'll link them in the description. If your child is older than kindergarten and hasn't developed a strong morning routine, I'd suggest creating a checklist on paper that looks a bit like this one, minus the little kid elements. You can put it in a page protector and use a dry erase marker, or even just create a new one each week. Your student won't need to use this the whole year. Once they have the morning routine down pat, you can move to the habits checklist at the bottom of the elementary, middle, and high school planners. These serve as a good reminder to get it done, but they don't provide this step-by-step. Speaking of step-by-step, let me walk you through the 5-step system we use. Step number 1. Time with God. The best possible time to spend time with God is first thing in the morning. This is a great way to focus your thoughts on truth and make sure you're allowing God to direct your day. While this might not be possible in every season of life, it is the best possible thing, so I like to lay this foundation in the early years. We will work through one of our primary age level Bible studies where I read to them and they get to follow along in the book and then the Bible. Next, they get to draw or do an activity on their side of the page. There are 2 things I want them to get from this time. First, reading God's Word helps us to know Him. Second, reading God's Word helps us to know how to live. As the kids get older, they will work on this Bible study on their own. At the start of our homeschool day, we will come together and talk about what we are learning. Each child is learning on their own level, but everyone has the same key truth and key passage, making discussions really easy. Note that we also have a parent guide available. If you're reading to a primary age child, you probably won't need this. But if all of your kids are old enough to do their own study, then you can grab a parent guide for yourself. The parent guide is your own study, written on an adult level. Then you'll find the key truth and key verses along with some discussion questions to help you to lead the discussion once your kids have all finished their own studies. This is one of the best ways to have deep, meaningful discussions with a variety of ages. This foundation sets the tone for everything else in your kids' day, and it reminds them that there's something bigger than their immediate wants and needs. Step 2, breakfast. Breakfast used to be the bane of my existence. I'd be scrambling to make meals for my kids while simultaneously trying to get myself ready for the day. It was chaos. Then I discovered the magic of breakfast stations, which is basically glorified meal prep. My kids would prepare their own breakfast from options that we prepped ahead of time. Once a month, we dedicate time to making and freezing things like muffins, breakfast burritos, or energy balls, pre-portioned smoothie packs, even pre-portioned cereal, which I didn't freeze. I store everything in clear containers or marked bags at their height level so even the youngest can grab them when they need them. Not only does it save me time, but it teaches them valuable food prep skills and gives them some autonomy. They're also responsible for cleaning up after themselves, like rinsing their plate, putting them in the dishwasher, wiping down their eating area, or throwing things in the trash. Remember, the goal isn't just feeding your kids, it's teaching them that they're contributing members of our household with responsibilities to the family. Step number 3, self-care. Step 3 is where kids take care of their personal hygiene and appearance. This includes brushing teeth, washing face, brushing or styling your hair, getting fully dressed. For younger kids, they go right down the checklist. As they get older, the personal care box in their habits section serves as a reminder to make sure that those things get done. Since they've already established a routine, they know what to do. Now be sure your bathroom items are located where kids can reach them independently. It would be helpful to have lower hooks for towels, step stools for sinks, and organized toothbrushes in labeled cups and things like that. I found that when kids take ownership of caring for their bodies, it builds significant confidence. There's real pride in their eyes when they say, I did this all by myself. And trust me, there's nothing better than realizing at 9 a.m. that everyone is dressed and ready for the school day without a single reminder from you. Step 4. Tidy your room and chores. The 4th step teaches responsibility for your space and contribution to the family. Each child has 2 types of responsibilities. The first is basic room tidying responsibilities like making their bed and picking up their clothes. The second is age-appropriate chores. In the younger ages, my main morning goal is to make sure that they can pick up the pajamas that they were wearing when they got dressed and any other things that might have made it to the floor. Once they master that, we begin working on bed making skills. After kids master the morning routine, their bedroom is their domain. They are fully responsible for making sure it lives up to my expectations. By the way, this means you have to teach them what your expectations are. I create a chart that we hang on the wall in their room. This chart has a step-by-step list of how to clean it. Pick up the clothes and put them away. Make your bed. Pick up clothes or shoes and put them away. I think you get the idea. If you just tell your child to clean your room, you'll find that their version of clean doesn't really match up with yours. I promise. Step by step is going to help. Next on the list is chores. Primary age kids will do a simple chore like unload the silverware from the dishwasher, which is a great math activity, or set the table, another great math activity. They might bring small trash cans from around the house to be dumped into one larger trash can. Or kids can match clean socks or fold washcloths. Set the stage early and get them excited about being a part of caring for your home and family. In elementary school, we use the Project Clean Chore Pack. This pack is designed to help kids master one zone of the house at a time. With step-by-step instructions for each chore, kids learn how to do them with excellence. An older elementary child might even have 2 chores, one that's done daily and one that's done weekly. Elementary kids are responsible for their room as well. I also have each family member in charge of their own laundry as soon as they've mastered that skill from the Project Clean Pack. What's beautiful about this system is how it builds a sense of family teamwork. Children learn that we all pitch in because we all benefit from a clean, organized home. When implemented consistently, this step can make a big difference, but don't forget to check their work. Remember that growth is process. If we aren't holding them accountable and helping them correct mistakes, our kids aren't really learning responsibility. Chores will not just improve the cleanliness of our homes, they will grow our children's attitudes about work and responsibility too. All right, step 5, reading time. The final step before we begin our homeschool day is reading time. This is crucial for so many reasons. First, it's open-ended and gives slower kids a chance to get everything done. It also gives mom a chance to be ready without having a child roaming around getting into trouble. But of course, most importantly, you're building crucial literacy skills. Kids need so much reading practice, so be sure to build lots of it into your routine. For pre-readers, this reading time will be looking through picture books or reciting familiar stories that you've read together many times. For older kids, they have a book box full of independent reading materials. We have a dedicated reading basket or box for each child. It contains books at their current reading level, books that they've already mastered and can practice, picture books they've picked from the library, books that I picked that they might be interested in, and it might even include a reading tracker where they would mark completed books. This consistent reading habit will dramatically improve their vocabulary comprehension and their love of learning. You might be thinking that all of this sounds great, but it would be difficult for you to be consistent in doing. This is where the planner comes in. The homeschool planner is your secret weapon for habit building and setting the stage for your homeschool day. In the early years, it will guide kids to establish a solid morning routine. As they grow, it will help them to stay focused and on track with their studies. Each child has their own planner depending on their age. I recommend Planner A for pre-K, Planner B for kindergarten, the elementary planner for 1st through 5th grade, and the middle school planner for 6th through 8th. And of course, the high school planner after that. Kids physically check off or mark completed tasks as they go, giving them that satisfaction of visible progress. The physical act of checking off items on paper creates accountability and builds executive functioning skills they'll need throughout life. Plus, it's self-rewarding and it feels good. Now, this isn't just about getting through a to-do list. It's about teaching them to manage their time, prioritize tasks, and take ownership of their responsibilities. If you implement this 5-step morning routine, your family mornings are going to get better. But remember that they're never going to be perfect. We will still have rough days. Hello, Mondays, or even sick days. But those should be the exception instead of the rule. All kids still need reminders sometimes, but they're slowly building habits that will serve them for life. Remember, the goal isn't perfect children or a perfect home. The goal is gradual, intentional progress towards raising responsible humans who can thrive independently. Start with small, consistent steps, and I promise you'll see change over time. If you found this helpful, will you please give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend? This means a lot to us, and it helps us to get the word out to more homeschool families like you. And don't forget to check the description for the link to your planner. Until next time, remember that intentional systems create space for your family to thrive. We'll see you next time.